Welcome in. It is day 339 and you're speaking to the Meeples Champion. And today we're going to be talking about a small, really colorful dragon game. The game is called Here to Slay. Now the concept of the game is that you're going to start off with your dragon, or your hero I should say, and you're going to be given the option of 3 actions for your turn. Now these actions can be broken up into a whole bunch of things. You could draw a card for an action. You could play a card for an action. You could use 2 actions to go and activate your big hero. You could use 3 actions to go for an attack. There's a bunch of different things. There's different ways to mix them in as to when you use 1, 2, or 3 of your actions. But the general sense is that you're trying to do one of 2 things to win the game. There are 3 monsters always available out to fight. If you can defeat 3 monsters, you're going to win the game. And the great thing is that even though this is one of those take that games, you can either help yourself or attack an opponent. When you defeat a monster in the middle, nobody can take that from you. So if you defeat a monster, you've defeated the monster, you have a point. Now the other thing you can do, and unfortunately the take that does affect this, is you can also win the game by being the first one to complete an entire party. You need to have your hero along with the other 5 types on your party and you win. Now this seems like this would be quite easy to do. All right, well, 3 actions: draw a card, play one. The next round, draw one, play. 1, there's the luck factor. Can you draw the right people? Now, there are going to be a whole bunch of different types of cards that come in, so it's not like you're simply drawing and playing people. You're going to have item cards that can not only be used to increase the strength of your character, but can affect how they work. Certain characters might say, well, when this is played, you get to not only put them onto your team, but you roll the dice, and it says if you roll a combination of 6 or more, then this is going to allow you to destroy a rogue in another player's play area. Or it might say if you roll a 3 or less, you're going to be able to steal somebody's play character and put it in your area. You'll have magics, which don't require the dice, but they're a one-time only. You play it, you get something special, and then it goes away. You're going to have cards that can affect what type you are. You might put out a rogue, but you go, oh, I already have a rogue, so I'm going to play this, and my rogue here is now going to become a ninja. So you play different types of things for your turn. But if at any point you're able to get that entire team filled, you would also win the game. The game goes quick. You shouldn't have to play this for very long. It's fun. It's got like elements of Munchkin, but it feels like it's Munchkin without it being, essentially, with the take that not being a hindrance to the game. I used to love Munchkin when I first got into, not board gaming, but just before that when I started gaming with friends. And the problem with Munchkin was that you would start to get close to winning and you'd be fully assaulted by everybody else at the table and it wouldn't be fun. You'd be like, I'm at 9 out of 10 points, I'm about to get the 10th point, everybody hit me, I'm back down to 3 points. It wouldn't be fun. This game takes that element away and I really like it for that. Well, that's enough about the game itself. Why don't we jump into our 7 categories and see where this game lands for us. The art. So when it comes to this game, I think that the box does a great job of taking what normally would be a space type idea, the darkness of the cover, throwing a few dragons in there, and it really grabs your eyes. Now, if this was a big game, this would be a hindrance. But as a smaller card game, this box is beautiful. So I love the box. And the card art is fantastic. For me, this art is a big thumbs up. The components. All you have are the cards, which are really well put together. They're not going to wear, they're not going to tear. And you get your dice, which, I mean, I've yet to run into a game that the die are not good. So for me, thumbs up. This is going to be just about $20, and for that price, a game that's quick, that you can play easily on a weeknight, at lunch, at work, on the weekends, with friends, with family, I think that that price is acceptable. You're going to find this not only in your regular board game stores or your Targets and your Barnes & Noble, but you're going to find this in all sorts of others. You'll find this in a Newberry Comics. You'll find this over at a Walmart. You'll find this in random stores. It is going to be out there. Thumbs up. Your difficulty. I think this is great for a beginner or a kid. It's not too difficult to understand. But an experienced player can still enjoy this game because there's just enough element of actual game going on there. And the experts, who normally I don't think would go into a game like this, because it's so quick, this is a perfect game for an expert to want to play with their kids or with friends who may not be big into their games, because it lets them do a little element of a game to help get people to start to play, and then eventually when they're ready to graduate to bigger games, they will. But this game's not so bad that an expert's not willing to dive into it for 15 or 30 minutes for 1 or 2 plays, so that they can introduce people to the idea of gaming and then evolve them to a better game. So for me, thumbs up. Replayability. The game is fast. So this game has loads of replayability already built into just the session that you pull it out in. I pulled the game out, we ended up playing 4 or 5 times. But now, because we played that many times, it's easy for me to pull it out again and play it at lunchtime, to play it after dinner, to play it with friends or family, or my game night when we, one by one people are coming in. Hey, first one here, we'll play this until the next ones show up. Plenty of replayability. Thumbs up. Keys to victory. To me, the keys are, what are you choosing for your direction? Are you after trying to make the party, or are you after trying to defeat the guys up top? Now, to defeat the guys up top, you're going to have to build stronger grouped party anyways, so you can kind of mix that. You could go all in on trying to build the party and just make sure you're building it to defeat the monsters up top, and then if you find that somebody else is going to beat you to the party win, you go, all right, let's redirect and try to get that defeat. Or you could be going for the defeat up top, realize somebody else has got way stronger setup and they're probably going to get there first, and redirect to, let's try to get the last 2 party members out. There's not a huge amount, but what they have here, there's a playability of fun. I'm going to give that a thumbs up. Is the game unique? I compared this to Munchkin already. You can also compare it to a game like Flux. You could compare it to a bunch of these games that I've done before, like Dragon Slayer or Dragon Horde. There are smaller card games that have elements of how you're building up to get either points or to try to defeat a monster that this game kind of gets tossed into the same grouping of. This might be one of the better ones within the group, but for me, it's just too close to those. It's got to be a thumbs down. Overall, what do I think? I think it's a fun little game. If you've got, a young kid somewhere in that like 5, 6 range that you're like, what can I bring out for a game? They're starting to be ready. They may be a little young for it, but the art will get them interested. They're not so young that they're going to try tearing up the cards, most likely. And so it's a great game to try to start them on and see if you can get them to get into it. And then once they are, you can try to figure out about moving them on in a few years. But you need to have a few of those really good-looking games to grab their interest early on. Well, it has been day 339, and we've been speaking about the game Here to Slay. And you've been speaking to the Meeples Champion. Like, share, subscribe, and check down below in the description where I'll be adding an Amazon link in case you want to get this game for your collection. And don't forget to check me out on Board Game Arena under the name The Meeples Champion. You can send me a friend request, a game request. I try to be on a couple times a day. Until next time, I'll talk to you tomorrow.